Namaste and welcome to Tridevi Chumunda Mandir in Denver, Colorado. I'm Yamachit, so glad that you could join us this evening for part 9 of our 12 Kalis of the Krama Lineage series. Tonight we're going to be honoring Paramarka Kali. First, a few announcements because April is going to be a rather busy month. So next Tuesday, we'll be doing our next installment of the meditations of the Vijnana Bhagavad Tantra series. The theme will be knowledge and desire. And then this coming Friday will mark the beginning of the Navaratri series, the 9 Nights of Mother Divine. I'm going to read a little introduction to that festival. Navaratri literally means 9 nights. This ritual is observed twice a year, in spring and in autumn. The Santa Navaratri, or Spring Navaratri, is 9 days of fast and worship that Hindus undertake during the spring every year. The Divine Mother, or deity in all of her forms, is worshipped during the Santa Navaratri. By tradition at Tridevi Chumunda Mandir, we will honor each of the Dasha Mahavidya, the 10 great wisdom goddesses, with daily pujas. Also during the meditational phase of each puja ceremony, Yamajit, that's myself, will share a portion of the goddess-centered scriptures known as the Shakta Upanishads. The entire collection of these short scriptural writings will be covered during this festival. And then please note the times for each puja. The pujas on the 8th and 9th will be YouTube broadcast only. For all the other pujas, you're going to be welcome to attend in person. So for Friday, April 1st, 7 p.m., that's next Friday, we'll be honoring the goddess Kali. Saturday, April 2nd at noon, the goddess Tara. Sunday, April 3rd at noon, the goddess Sudashi. On Monday, the 4th, 7 p.m. again, the goddess Bhuvaneshwari. Tuesday, April 5th, the Navaratri Puja will be at 6 p.m. We'll be honoring the goddess Bhairavi. And then an hour later at 7 o'clock, we'll be doing a Kriya Yoga satsang. That part will be in person only, and no broadcast. You're certainly welcome to attend at our temple, 1260 South Xavier Street in Denver, Colorado. Wednesday, April 6th at 7 p.m., the goddess Chinnamasta. We're actually going to be talking about this evening. Thursday, the 7th at 7 p.m., the goddesses Dulavati and Badlamukhi. It's customary to honor those on the same night. We get 10 goddesses and 9 goddesses in, 10 goddesses in 9 nights. Now, Saturday the 9th, the puja will be at 1 p.m., be honoring the goddess Kamala. This will be one that will be broadcast only, and this is because I'll be doing a training retreat in jaw practice. And I would invite everybody to check out the website for Drala Mountain Center, D-R-A-L-A. If you're interested in taking part in this training retreat, it's an online training. I highly recommend it. There's a sliding tuition scale on it. Sunday, April 10th, there'll be no puja due to the training retreat, and also in honor of Shiva Sai Mandir's Victory Day celebration as the culminating event of Navaratri. We will, however, be doing our own Victory Day celebration on the 11th at 7 p.m., and we'll be honoring all 10 of the Mahavidya, the great wisdom goddesses. So we're only going to be doing 2 Tuesday satsangs during April. On the 19th and the 26th, we'll be continuing with the meditations of the Vijnana Bhagavad Tantra series. Our Friday night pujas for this month will be on the 15th, the 22nd, and the 29th. All three of those will be at 7 p.m., both live broadcast, and also you're welcome to come in person. On the 15th will be our second installment of Chill Practice for the West. On the 22nd will be our monthly Devi Puja and Yoga Nidra meditation. And then on the 29th will be the 10th installment of our 12 Kalis of the Krama lineage. We'll be honoring the goddess Kali Ganarudra Kali on that. For more information, please feel free to email me at temple email omcdevi, AUMCdevi, DEVI, at gmail.com. Please send me an email too if you would like to get a monthly email newsletter as well. And so I look forward to everyone joining me for these several events. And of course, anything that you miss, there will be a recording of each puja on our YouTube channel. So that brings us now to tonight's satsang and puja. So the 12 Kalis, just to recap, are honored in a 1,000-year-old hymn called the Krama Stotram. The hymn was part of the Krama lineage of non-dual Shaiva Tantra, also known as Kashmir Shaivism. This is the lineage that first taught meditative techniques involving raising Kundalini energy upwards through the central channel of the spine, or Sushumna, piercing each of the chakras. Really, this is symbolic of the raising of consciousness from pure materialism to the transcendent divine. Really, this is also the basis of Kriya Yoga. And to further recap our previous satsangs, the sage Abhinavagupta of the Trika Tantra lineage described three functions of divine consciousness: Ija Shakti, the power of will; Jnana Shakti, the power of knowledge; and Kriya Shakti, the power of action. There's also a fourth function, the power of transcendence, personified by Kala Sankarshini Kali, also known as Mahakali. And those three functions, plus one, are symbolized by a trident, both the staff and the 3 points. So these four divine functions, we multiply those by 3 phases: emission or creation, stasis or preservation, and reabsorption or destruction. Therefore, these are 12 Kalis in number. Those 3 phases I just described can also be classified as the objective, the cognitive, and the subjective. So the first 7 goddesses that we've honored, Srishti Kali was the first, the creation of objects. The second was Rakta Kali, or the experience of objects with the 5 sensations related to preservation. The third, Tanasya Kali, termination, which was associated with destruction and the termination of the experience of objects. The fourth, Yama Kali, personifies the power of transcendence. And this ended the cycle of objectivity. Samhara Kali began the second phase, the cycle of cognition. Our position in this state is once again creation, only now the objects form that are both different from us and also they are us as well. And so we see in this phase the beginnings of the destruction of the sense of duality, the sense of that versus I. The sixth Kali in the hymn, Ritu Kali, represents a state of preservation through the destruction of detrimental forces, really distracted forces. The seventh Kali of the Stotram, Narudra Kali, also known as Bajra Kali, was the destroyer of doubts and suspicions that hold us back on our journey to both self-actualization and divine consciousness. And then the Kali we honored 2 weeks ago is Ma Matananda Kali. This form of Mahakali absorbs the energies of cognition. We talked about last time how those are 12 in number into herself. So she's the transcendent force which ended the cycle of cognition. So the cycle of subjectivity is brought into being through the ninth Kali, who we'll be honoring tonight, and that is Paramarka Kali. And according to the late Swami Lakshmanu, personifies that state in which the limited ego, which holds those 12 organs of cognition that we talked about last week, is dissolved. So Paramarka means the great or all-encompassing, that's para, and then marka means either mind or the vital breath that pervades the body. So she reminds us how in meditation, the breath is the gateway to achieving states of consciousness which exist beyond the senses. Thus, Paramarka Kali merges ego consciousness into the realm of spirit. In her, we make that shift from cognition to subjectivity. So according to the tantric scholar Eric Stoneberg, Paramarka Kali personifies a flash of lightning, or a Bajra, which we see symbolized by this little instrument here from Tibetan and Nepali Buddhism. She embodies those times when our thinking shifts and better, more informed choices can be made. In other words, she helps us to take notice of an opportunity and seize it. She's the carpe diem, Kali, in other words. She tells us in those moments, make the choice you're really making, not the choice that you might make, or the choice that convention tells you that you should be making. She's the Kali who states, I am, I have, I create, I act, and not, I think I'm going to go ahead and, or I should. So this same form of Kali consciousness is represented by the Mahavidya, great wisdom goddess, Chinnamasta. And Chinnamasta means she of the severed head. And this is an image of Ma Chinnamasta. So for Chinnamasta, in her quick, sudden act of self-sacrifice, she nourishes her children. Her self-decapitation therefore represents the sacrifice of the ego for something greater. Chinnamasta is also known as the Bajra goddess, or the lightning goddess. And I want to talk a little bit about her symbolism. I have another illustration of her. I'll put before the camera. So we can see on her head her long hair. And that long hair going out in all directions represents the interconnectedness of all things. When we see a goddess figure with her hair unbound, that also means that her Shakti, her divine feminine force, is also unbound. She's shown holding a khadga, or sword, or this instrument, a kartika, which is a flaying blade used in sky burial. And so both of those instruments represent the cutting away of ego attachments. She holds a kapala, or skull couplet, when we have our food offerings in, which represents the transformation of consciousness. When you look at this illustration, you'll notice that coming from her neck are three streams of blood, two of which are going to her daughters, which are on her left side and on her right side. And the third she is nourishing herself with, her severed head with. These actually represent the three main energy channels of the body. The Ida Nadi on the left, or lunar channel, the Pingala Nadi on the right, or solar channel, and the Sushumna Nadi in the center, through which Kundalini Shakti rises during meditation. The severed head is the ego and the attachments that have been cut away or shed. You'll notice that she is leading with her left foot, and this represents the power of banishing, that is, getting rid of or dissolving, again, those ego attachments and also incorrect perceptions. Chinnamasta's Tibetan Buddhist form is Bajra Yogini, and I have an example of Bajra Yogini, this old image. And Bajra Yogini, you'll notice, is very Kali-like in her form, and she personifies the power of female Buddhahood. So with Bajra Yogini, we have several related symbols. She has long, disheveled hair again, for example. She's leading with her left foot. She's holding, again, a Kartika flaying blade. She is standing upon a corpse, similar to how Kali stands upon Lord Shiva. And this reminds us that we are, in a sense, like a corpse ourselves, until we open ourselves up to that divine influence. Again, she's leading with her left foot. She is surrounded by flames, representing the opening of consciousness and also the transformation that takes place from that. She's holding a skull staff called a Khatvanga. And I'm going to show you a detailed image of a Khatvanga. So the Khatvanga is a staff, and on it are three heads. The first is freshly cut. The second is in a state of decomposition, and the third is a bare skull. So this is the process, again, of the shedding of ego attachments. And it can also represent those three functions that we were just talking about: the function of objectivity, cognition, and now the state that we're in, subjectivity. Very often in illustrations of Bajra Yogini, her Khatvanga skull staff has three ribbons that are hanging off it. And those three ribbons, again, represent those three energy channels, Ida, Pingala, and Sushumna Nadis. So both goddesses tell us, seize the moment. The light is shining like a flash of lightning. Just do it. So in tonight's puja, we'll focus on the mantra of the Divine Mother in the forms of both Ma Chinnamasta and in the form Bajra Yogini. So for our puja mantra, we're going to use the Bij mantra BAM for the mantra for Vajra Yogini. For our fire offerings, we're going to use Om Hum Sva or Ma Chinamasta. Jai Ma. So I invite you now to find a comfortable seated position. Close your eyes. Breathe deeply. Just take this time to clear the mind. Free yourself from distractions so you can be focused on the present moment. Focused on the here and the now. Just letting go of those concerns of past and future. Giving this time to yourself. Time for learning. Time for understanding and exploring. A time for growing closer to that divine consciousness within and without. And slowly bringing the palms of your hands together at your heart center. We're going to open our practice tonight by chanting 3 different seed mantras. The mantra Ain, the mantra Hrim, and the mantra Krim. Again, related to creation, preservation, and destruction. So deep inhale for Ain. Inhale, Hrim. Inhale and exhale. Slowly open your eyes. Om Pavitra Pavitruva Sarvabhistam Gatopi Vayashmare Padadikaksham Sabhyavyanta Sushi Om Pavitra Pavitruva Sarvabhistam Gatopi Vayashmare Padadikaksham Sabhyavyanta Sushi Om Pavitra Pavitruva Sarvabhistam Gatopi
Yashmare Pandrikaksham Sabhyabhyanta Sushi. Om Shuklam Balaram Vishnum Shivanam Shutobijam Prasnavanam Dayat Sarvadhignopasantai. Jai Ganesha. Om Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru Deva Maheshwara Guru Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Sri Guru Ve Namah. Jai Guru. Om Trayambakam Yajamaye Sagandim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukamiva Bandhanam Mrityur Mukshyamamrita. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Jayanti Mangalakali Bhadrakali Kapalani Durga Shama Shiva Datri Svasvada Namostute Jayatvam Devi Chamunde Jaya Bhutita Harani Jaya Sarvagati Devi Kalaratri Namostute. Jai Mahakali. Mahakali Ti Samja Saparampara Kramodita Sada Satyata Sadbhava Param Nanda Nandini. She's called the Great Annihilator, Mahakali, because she continually perpetuates the stages of existence in an endless succession. Yet her true nature, which is beyond the categories of being and non-being, is the ecstatic delight of unimaginable bliss. Kali Mahakalam Alam Grasantim Vandehi Achintyam Anilabam. Praise be to Kali, who devours up the great cycles of time. She is unconceivable, indestructible, and unattainable. Jai Ma. Kapuragaram Karanavataram Samsara Saram Vajigendra Haram Sada Santam Hridaya Vinde Vivam Vivani Saitam Namami Devi Prapanate Hare Prasida Prasida Matara Jagata Kilasya Prasida Vishvesvara Vishvam Swami Shora Devi Chachara Charasya Om Agni Jyotir Jyotiagnir Spa Agni Jyotir Jyotiagnir Spa Agni Jyotir Jyotiagnir Spa. So the two helpers will be offering samagri to our fire. We chant our mantra, Machimasta. Ashtodita dvada sabhanu baji yasyam gata varga shikasikeva ansatadhamni jyoti nasyameti tam namayanantam paramarka kalim. We bow to the infinite Paramarka Kali, who in her appeased flame shares the 12 suns already consumed. It is in her that the ego, Ankara, succeeds in destroying its own light. As an appeased flame is an appeased fire. Jema Paramarka Kali. Om Hum Sva. 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 Om Swaha. 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 I invite you now to close your eyes. Breathe deeply. And let the power of the mantra guide your consciousness where it needs to be at this moment. Just honor whatever comes into your realm of awareness. Rest in this state of awareness as you witness, observe, and experience a safe and unattached distance.
And now taking a deep, clearing breath, slowly opening your eyes, looking upon, meditating upon our flame, either directly at the flame if you're here in person, or looking at the flame on the screen, just meditating upon the fire. Letting those things that you're ready to shed, feel them going into the fire with its light, feeling those parts of your life that are ready for transformation. Feel that first big step being taken. Continue the same meditation while gazing upon the fire, just honoring whatever comes into your realm of awareness. So let this fire remind us of those times when the Divine Mother speaks to us like a flash of lightning, and reminds us to seize that moment, take that opportunity, make that action for all the better. And as you continue to meditate, I invite you to listen now to the words of the sage Abhinavagupta. A bound soul who has any of these convictions
dense. I am inert matter, or I am completely bound by my karma, or I am impure, or I am a pawn of others, may seek to attain the steady conviction of the opposite of these views. If one succeeds in this, one immediately becomes the master, whose body is the whole universe, and whose soul is pure consciousness. In whatever manner such a conviction may be attained, a tantric yogi should cultivate it at all times. One should not allow one's perspective to become divorced from the real nature of things and thus be led into doubt by the mass of foolish teachings that exist in this world. Jema Paramarka. Jema Chinnamasta Devi.
Jema Chinnamasta Devi.
Jema Bajra Yogini.
Jema
Om Sarvanangada Mangaye Shiva Sarasarike Saranye Triambake Devi Naryane Namostute. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Sana Vavatu Sana Vanaktu Saviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu Mavidvidyavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Tat Sat Om.
Om Tat Sat.
Jai Ganesha.
Jai Ganesha.
Jai Guru.
Jai Guru.
Om Namah Shivaya.
Om Namah Shivaya.
Jai Mahakali.
Jai Mahakali.
Jai Paramarka Kali.
Jai Paramarka.
Jai Chinnamasta Devi.
Jai Chinnamasta Devi.
Jai Bajra Yogini.
Jai Bajra.
Jai Paramarka Kali. Jai Mata Di. Jai Mata Di.
Jai Mata Di.
Jai Mata Di.
Jai
Jai
Mata.
Ma.
Jai Ma.
Jai Ma. Jai Ma. So thank you so very much for joining us this evening. I'm hoping that you will join us for our next satsang on Tuesday at 7 o'clock, and then the 9 nights of Mother Divine, beginning April 1st. And the next time we do an installment of this series on the 12 Kalis, hopefully the weather will be fair enough that we can do our first outdoor fire puja of this year in our outdoor temple. So have a wonderful night, wonderful week ahead. Blessings always. Namaste. And Jai Mata.